Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Weather with Jonathan here, and there is a lot to talk about with weather across the U.S. We've got an ice storm going on, and after that, we've got a lot to talk about. So, starting off, we have ice storm warnings mainly in northwestern Mississippi, western Tennessee, central Arkansas, and we also have a little patch of ice storm warnings over here near Lubbock, Texas. And this is all caused by freezing rain, which the totals could be significant. The totals are looking about half an inch or more, maybe. Half an inch possible to a quarter of an inch possible in Texas. But the probably most affected areas that will happen are in these areas. Now, I think the more significantly impacted areas will be in this area and Dallas through this area. So this could end up being significant. But after that, around February 8th, we have another potential ice storm in the upper Midwest. And this could potentially bring significant ice totals to states such as Iowa, Wisconsin, Michigan, and I think Michigan will be the most heavily impacted state, with most of the state being covered by ice. But in terms of sleet from any of these storms, it doesn't look too bad. This, as you can see, the storm that's happening currently, it doesn't seem to be dropping at that much sleet, only about a quarter to half an inch. But the freezing rain is what's going to cause all the problems. This could lead to power outages, which, speaking of power outages, we have a bunch of power outages in Texas. 19,952 people without power in Texas currently, it looks like, near the counties of Dallas and counties around it. You guys are losing a little bit of power around Dallas, Fort Worth, that area, and a little down here. But there's also another thing we have to talk about, and that is the weather across the country. So there could be any weather like this sleet and ice storm. This is going to be impacting the south until about the morning of the 2nd, which it's going to be mainly dry after that. But you've got this cold bubble coming down from Canada, which another little ice event possible in North Carolina, West Virginia, possible around possibly about February 5th, right near Groundhog Day, maybe a little in South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia. The ice totals don't seem to be very high, maybe a quarter of an inch, which will lead to some things. But then we've got a real weather pattern coming up on the 7th. Watch this fuse up with some Gulf of Mexico energy and some cold air from Canada. The dew points will be fairly significant. Dew points mid to upper 60s. Dew points down here mid to upper 60s. Dew points over here about 30 to below. So it's going to be okay. The severe weather doesn't look too significant. Joules only about 500 joules, which isn't really significant. So that's why we're not talking much severe weather-wise. But there might be another tiny little threat for ice in the plains. And actually, the reason Michigan could get that ice storm is because, watch this, as we pull it out into future scans, you can see that some ice pops up around the Lincoln, Nebraska area, quickly dissipates. Then some around the Cedar Rapids, Mason City, Iowa area. And then Wisconsin will get a good, maybe a little significant ice in the southern part. But Michigan really is going to be getting it. Ice all the way throughout the 9th, 8th at night. They could be seeing some ice start to ramp up, and then it's going to go all the way up into northern Michigan by the end of the day. Now, I wouldn't say that any of these could be very significant, but any of these could do anything. I mean, this storm right here, this could track way more to the east, way more to the north, like this model is showing. It can do anything. But the reason I would like to use the National Blend of Models is because it shows the average of it shows the average of all models. So surface ice accumulation, the National Blend of Models is actually showing some more significant ice down here, up to about maybe localized areas 1/4 of an inch. And some areas now in Texas, it's showing locally up to an inch in this little hotspot in Texas. Now, the most heavily impacted areas, I think, will be likely down here and over here, because we have got a bunch of ice storm warnings, and I wouldn't say that they could get expanded. I think they might, but I think the ice storm is gonna get as bad as it is today, either today or tomorrow. But snow totals, we aren't talking big in these. I mean, possibly something over here in northern Texas, western Oklahoma, western Kansas, central to eastern Nebraska, maybe some in northwestern Iowa. But this could be a snowstorm, which this is gonna happen around, actually, about with that snowstorm around February 9th. And their GFS models are showing currently freezing rain for that storm. In Michigan, they're not showing anything for Michigan, so I don't know, because this is like already like too far out, so this is gonna be significant. Maybe anything can be significant, but let's take a look at our 850 millibar. You can see this trough that's bringing all the ice come into the U.S. and there's gonna be a flat jet stream after that. There's not gonna be very much stuff, but then this trough comes in, the massive trough comes in and breaks it, and bam, no flat, and now this swings and becomes negatively tilted, and then we get a massive, humongous bowling ball trough. As you can see, this thing is humongous. You can see that this thing is, because you still got this trough in here, but then this trough dips so massive that this bowling ball trough just is insane, and it's gonna cause some problems. And then you've got this thing, energy coming down from Canada, which the bowling ball trough is gonna lead to more of a relatively flat jet stream until that thing comes down from Canada. But then it's just mainly quiet after that until this humongous trough around about February 16th will come in. And we could actually end up seeing something significant. Maybe some severe weather around February 11th. I'm not very concerned about it yet because there's a lot of uncertainty and it's pretty far out. But this one here around February 8th does look pretty okay with dew points. But the thing is the dew points just continue to rise. And around February 11th, or February 11th is also my birthday, we could get another significant storm, possibly around my birthday on February 11th. Now, I'm not very worried about this yet, but it does look like we could have something, and after that thing comes out after my birthday, this massive cold air from Canada is going to plunge into the US. And temperatures could reach about -10, and average temperatures will be like mid-10s. But this cold blast is going to bring a lot because, as you can see, that storm system's moving out, and then this comes in. And then guess what? Another storm comes in around Valentine's Day. And it does also look fairly decent so far. I wouldn't, but if, as you can see, there's this swirly boy up here in Canada. And actually, if that thing happened a little further down through the US, that would be another massive cold Arctic blast similar to the one we had around Christmas. And after that, though, that will bring very cold temperatures to upstate Minnesota. Now, rainfall totals. We are looking at a wet season for the South. Locally up to 4 inches. California, you're also going to see another wet pattern. You will see a little more rain, but you won't see like what we saw because that atmospheric river that caused all the flooding, that was showing rainfall at the max up to 22 feet of snow or rain. So yeah, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed. Bye.